It's your girl Gbabii. That's Gbabii. And if you don't want to call me Gbabii, then you already know. You can call me the 7th letter in the alphabet. So you guys, today I'm actually going to be doing another story time. I know it's been a minute since your girl did a story time. So today I'm going to pull y'all a little tea about how I got into my first actual fist fight. I know that's a little ghetto, y'all. It's a little ratchet. That ain't what I usually do on this channel. But that's okay, because I feel like you really can't know who Gbabii is, or like where my name originated as the name Gbabii came from, without you actually knowing this story, you guys. So I'm gonna tell y'all about my first actual fist fight. So if you guys are actually into this, if you ain't, you know, you can come back for another video. Y'all can check out some of my other videos. But if you into this, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Give your girl a big thumbs up. Let's get into this story, okay? So you guys, this story actually takes place in a classroom. I was in 3rd grade, and it actually takes place with a boy. My first fist fight was not with a girl. My first fist fight was with a boy.
If you got someone, don't you love when I come around?
I ain't with all that switching names and stuff like some people be doing on their story times. So I'ma just keep it G. But I'm not gonna tell you his name because I ain't got time for all that. So I'm not gonna tell you his name. But yeah, me and this boy got into it. We just gonna keep it at that. Oh, before we get into this, y'all, I do want to let y'all know, disclaimer, I am not promoting violence in no type of way. I'm not telling you to go out and fight nobody. I'm not telling nobody underage to go out and fight, or adults, because adults and children, y'all already know how that go. It's either way. I'm not telling nobody to fight nobody, not promoting no violence in no type of way on this channel. That ain't what I'm about. That ain't what I'm here for. This is simply just my story, what happened for me in my life, like what took place for me. Anyway, y'all, like I said, it was 3rd grade. I was sitting in class, and we was all doing our work. Before I can tell y'all what all really happened, like, we was all doing our work, and this boy had gotten in trouble. He stayed in trouble a lot, and he was in an older grade than us. So he used to have to come sit in our class for like a punishment, I guess. So he came in our class. He was sitting down, focused, doing his work. My teacher got I'm guessing a phone call. Her phone was on silence. I don't know, but I do know she grabbed her phone and she told the boy who was older than us to watch the classroom. She went out of the classroom to go get on the phone. When she went out of the classroom to go get on the phone, the boy got up, the one who I get into a fight with, not the older dude. The older dude sitting in front of the classroom just watching everybody, making sure we ain't doing no crazy stuff. But anyway, crazy stuff happened. So anyway, the boy who was my age, in my grade, he gets up and he decides that he is going to hit this girl in the head with a social studies book. If I'm not mistaken, it was a social studies book, but it could have been a grammar book, but it was a book. Well, no, and I ain't talking about no thin book, y'all. I'm talking about one of those big, heavy, stocky books where we used to have to buy the book covers to go over. I don't even know if they still do that. We used to buy the book covers to go over, or either make a book cover out of like a brown paper bag to go over the book. One of those kind of books. A good size now. Good heavy book. He picks up this book, and this girl is sitting in class. She hadn't did anything to Buddy. Like, I don't know what he was going through. I don't know what kind of anger issues Buddy had going on at the time, but he was mad. So actually, I don't even think he was mad. I think he was just
crazy.
Extra, because he picked up the book and he went upside this girl's head with it. Just clocked her in the head. Other girls in the class were like, oh my god, she just started crying, freaking out. Dude in the front of the class like, chill out, stop, calm down, you know. Me personally, I don't condone, I never have condoned a boy hitting a girl. I'm in 3rd grade and I'm sitting here like, you know, did this boy really just hit this girl? It's the only thing going through my head. Why did you hit this girl with a whole book? That's the only thing I'm thinking. So the other girls in the classroom was like, ooh, like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, so he gets up and he goes over to another girl and clock. She get hits in the head with this book. Sis just start crying along with the other girl. I'm still sitting here because this is going down my row at this point. We all set up in like 4 rows in the classroom. So I'm sitting on my row and pretty much every girl on this row is clock. And I'm just like, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I wasn't no bad kid. I never been a fighter, never been a cursor, never been nobody who just into getting into trouble or none of that kind of stuff, unless I felt like it was necessary for me to get into the trouble. I went into trouble. That wasn't me in elementary school, middle school, none of that. In middle school, I was homeschooled until like 7th grade. Then I went back to public school. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, y'all, I'm just like, what's going on? Because Buddy is just hitting girls in the head with books at this point. And I'm watching these girls get knocked in the head. And I ain't talking about lightly. I'm talking about knocked in the head, boo-hooing, crying, and they not standing up to do nothing for themselves. Now, in my household, my mom always told me if somebody hit you, then, knock that out. So I'm like, what? He's sitting here knocking these girls in the head and they ain't doing a thing. And I'm like, baby, if you come over here and you hit me, I'll you up. I'm just being honest. I said what I said, but I definitely said some cursing words in what I said to him. So he came over, and I guess he was like intimidated, or thought I was gonna be intimidated by him coming over with this book. And I don't care. Buddy hit me in the head with this book, and he was like, "That's for talking all your." Just clock this book back and boop, hit me in the head. Baby, you know how it sounds when somebody hits you so hard and you hear a ringing in your head. All I know was I got knocked in the head. My whole head shifted downward as I got knocked in the head. Now the crazy thing was, I should have seen this coming, that if I had said something, he was gonna hit me in the head. But I wasn't finna sit there like the rest of my female classmates did behind me and didn't do nothing. I just couldn't do that. That wasn't in me. I got up and I just took off running. This man was hot. We both just running after each other at this point, just running after each other. And these 2 boys in my classroom at the time who was cool with each other, and they had like these little rhyming names, but they are not siblings or anything like that, but their names sound almost identical. It was like just the first letter was different. Anyway, they decided that they seen him running around away from me, and as I was chasing him, they decided they was gonna scoop him up. So one guy had him on this side, the other guy had him on this side. They both just grabbed him by the arm. He couldn't run him over. He was trying his best to scramble away from them. He couldn't get away. At that time, your girl came up. You already know. And y'all, this is my first fight. This is my first time ever getting into a fight. This was my first time ever actually physically putting my hands on somebody. So at this point, I'm really scared, but I knew I wanted to fight. So it was like my heart was racing. My eyes was whole closed, y'all. I had my eyes squished closed up in this thing, and I'm just swinging. I ain't stopping. I'm just wholeheartedly swinging on this guy with my eyes closed. All I hear behind me is people screaming. I mean, whole screaming. I don't know what they were screaming, because it's like I blocked out the sounding of what they were saying, but I knew I could hear people screaming. I was just fighting, eyes closed, heart racing, tears running down my face, just fighting. fighting. Like, I turned into a whole different person at this point. I did not know exactly what was taking place because the teacher came back in at this point, and the kids are not screaming like fight or nothing. They screaming like, and the teacher's like, get off of him, and she just pulling me and pulling me and pulling me and pulling me. He is on the floor, and he had blood all over his shirt, blood all coming down his face. And at this point, I started freaking out because I'm thinking, what did I do? Why is this man bleeding? Why blood all over his shirt? Why blood all over his face? I'm like, I don't know what happened. And the teacher took me out in the hallway. The nurses came down from the office to check on him and things. Like, they calling his mom, calling my mom. At this point, I want to know if he okay more than, okay, I want to fight, like, y'all, he was okay. He just had a bad nosebleed. I'm guessing I had punched him in the nose, like, too hard, and the blood was, like, extreme. It wasn't light blood, though. Like, it was all over his shirt, and he had on a white shirt, so it was, like, all over his shirt, all down his face, all around his neck. Anyway, we went to the office. They had cleaned him up. He was, like, holding the tissue on his nose and mouth area, and they set us in the office together. They called his mom, they called my mom came, his mom came, and they went down to the classroom and asked the kids, like, what happened, what took place, and all that. All the kids pretty much told he was hitting all these girls in the head with a book, and she just got up and she beat him up for hitting people in the head with a book. So they came back to the office and they was like, did you hit her in the head with a book? Did you hit several girls in the classroom in the head with a book? And he was just like, yeah, he did. He was 100% honest about what he did, and he was 100% honest about me getting up and me attacking him after he hit me in the head with a book. So his mom was like, you hitting girls? I ain't raised you to hit no girl. So his mama pretty much just gave him another little 2-piece, and they was like, ma'am, you cannot do that. You can't be up here hitting on your child in this office. Like, we don't condone parents hitting on kids. And she was like, oh, but he know better. He know I ain't teach him to do nothing like that. You need to apologize to them girls. So he apologized to me. I don't know about if he apologized to the other girls. I can only tell you what he did to me. He did apologize to me. We hugged it out or whatever in the office. And, everything was good. He wasn't like, I don't know if he was mad, but he didn't show it to me that he was mad. It was kind of like, I'm sorry. I apologize for hitting you in the head with a book. I apologize because I know that was wrong. All that kind of stuff. Like, keep in mind, y'all, we in like 3rd grade, so it was a big deal, but, it was kind of like over-exaggerated the way how, I don't know, because like I said, I closed my eyes. I don't really know what happened, but it was over-exaggerated to me, the way how they was like, okay, we need to call the office, have the nurse come down here, what we need to do. Like, I'm like, child, this boy got a nosebleed. Like, give him some tissue. He is okay. Anywho, y'all, my mama was like, so you didn't do nothing but defend yourself? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't do nothing but defend myself because I got hit in the head with a book. And, like, it just made me be mad because you don't hit me in the head with no book and expect me not to do nothing. So my mom was like, cool, but you don't fight nobody or whatever. You know better. You know all this, blah, blah, blah. We in front of the principal. She talking to me. And the principal was like, okay, well, both of them suspended for 3 days. I had never been suspended from school, you guys. So I'm pretty much shaking in my boots at this point because I'm thinking my mama is 38 mad. Like I was for sure. I was finna die. I'm like, I I never been suspended from school before. I never got into a fight before. My mama finna kill me. I'm finna be dead. She got out to the car. She looking mad. She mugging. I get in the car. She get in the car. I brought my little paperwork with me that show I was suspended and couldn't return back to school until the 3 days was up. And I'm sitting in the car, and my mama pretty much go down questioning me again. What happened? What took place? Why you got up and hit him? How many times he hit you? Who else he was hitting? So I'm going through the whole story all over again, telling my mama exactly the same situation. This is what happened. This is what it transpired to after he hit me, and then I got up, and then I just, I did my thing because the two boys grabbed him. I mean, I was telling detail to detail. I mean, every detail at this point, because I was like, I just don't want to die. I really only did this because I ain't want nobody to hit me in the head with a book. And I don't want you to kill me, mama. I don't want you to kill me. My mama don't play getting suspended from school. She didn't play that. So anyway, y'all, she riding down the street, and she just looking at me, and she was like, well, we pulled over to the Dairy Queen. Sis backed up the car. She parks, and she looked me dead in the face, and she like, I'm proud of you. You don't let nobody, run over you. You don't let nobody do nothing like that to you, so I'm proud of you. And I'm like, what? You proud of me? Because I thought I was finna die. So you mean to tell me you proud of me? I'm not finna die, though. Okay. So come on, let's go get that ice cream. So we got out of the car. She went and bought me ice cream, y'all. I got me a vanilla ice cream cone with some sprinkles on it. She got her a dipped chocolate cone. We went back to the car, ate our ice cream. She was calling folks, talking on the phone to them. We were chilling, having a good time. She was like, you gon' just chill for 3 days at the house or whatever, and it'll be okay. When you go back to school, just try not to get in no trouble. I don't want no drama. When you go back to school, just be you. Stay in your lane and let other folks stay in their lane. And don't worry about whatever went on. It's just another day, So I'm like, cool. So for 3 days straight, I pretty much was just chilling with my moms. We had a good time. We were talking, enjoying ourselves for 3 days. Came back, time for me to go to school, y'all. That time rolled back around. And I'm like, okay, I really ain't worried about going back to school. But I'm like, I don't know how Buddy gonna feel when I come back to school. Like, is he gonna have some type of beef or whatever? That's the only thing I was worried about, because I pretty much had seen other kids fight people. They win, they come back to school, and then that person mad and they want to retaliate on them again when they get back to school. So I was thinking, like, I don't got time for that type of stuff to be going on. I don't got time to come back to school and this person still want to fight me or still have beef or drama with me. But when I got to school, I didn't even see him. I walked in the cafeteria for breakfast, and I went and got my breakfast. I really didn't eat at school, pretty much. Like, that was never me. I never really ate my food like that. But if they had breakfast cereal, I eat the Cinnamon Toast Crunch or whatever, dry with no milk on it and stuff like that. So I was sitting over, got my little cereal bowl, and I'm sitting down eating my cereal. Now remember, y'all, I told you it was this older guy who always got in trouble, and he got sent to our class. So he came to me, and he was like, hey, this my friend right here, dog. This a little G. And he hit me on the arm. And all his little friends were like, who is that? This little girl, who this is? And he was like, man, this little girl got hands, but she was in class. She was thumping this little boy. He hit girls in the head with a book, and she just went off. She started fighting, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, she the quietest girl in their class. She don't hardly never say nothing. She just be in the cut by herself like a little baby. And then the boy was like, his little friend was like, her name Gbabii. She a G and a baby, Gbabii. So from that day forward, everybody was like, Gbabii, 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 Gbabii. Until I, stopped going to public school, and then I went back to public school. But like I said, that's a story for another day. So anyway, everybody was like, at that school, they started calling me Gbabii. Like, it just started being a thing for people to call me Gbabii because of that fight. Me and the guy who I had got to fighting with, I thought, when we went to class, it was gonna be problems or whatever. But he kind of like didn't talk to me at all. Pretty much for the rest of the year, we didn't really talk like that until we had a field trip. We had a field trip to Indian Mounds, and he came to the field trip. I was on the field trip, and our last names was kind of like the same letter, and they used to like put people in alphabetical order. So once they put us in alphabetical order, we ended up sitting beside each other, and at first we wasn't talking. Nobody was saying too much or nothing, but we actually ended up talking to each other and being cordial. Like, we could talk to each other and be cool with each other without no bad blood or feeling like, oh, this person wanna have beef with me or nothing like that. It was just like, we was cool. That's the story of my first fight, you guys, and that's also the story of how I got my name, Gbabii. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time about my first fight. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button and give your girl a big thumbs up. And I'll talk to you guys in another video. I'm wishing you guys a whole lot of peace, love, and blessings. And remember, if it ain't about the bag, we ain't stressing it. Period.